The Storm and the Sky, a Zen reflection on not becoming your emotions. There is an old story about a young monk who came to his master in the middle of the night. He had woken from a nightmare, shaking, unable to breathe steadily. "Master," he said, "I am afraid something is deeply wrong with me. I feel anger, I feel sorrow, I feel fear, all in the same hour, sometimes in the same breath. How can I call myself a monk when my mind is such a storm?" The old master did not answer right away. He simply led the young monk outside into the cold night air. Above them, dark clouds moved quickly across the sky. Lightning flickered somewhere far in the distance. The old master pointed upward. "Tell me," he said, "what do you see?" "A storm, master," the young monk said. "The sky is full of storm." The old master shook his head slowly. "Look again," he said, "not at the clouds, but beyond them." The young monk stared for a long while into the moving dark, and then he noticed it far above the clouds, where the eye rarely thinks to look. The sky itself was still untouched, the same sky that had been there before the storm began and would still be there long after it passed. "The storm," the master said, "is not the sky, my son. It only passes through it. The story ends there, but its meaning reaches into nearly every hour of our lives. Most of us were never taught this distinction. We were taught that we are our feelings. I am angry. We say, not, anger is passing through me. I am anxious. We say, not, anxiety has arrived. Like weather. And so, every emotion becomes an identity. Every storm becomes who we think we are. This is exhausting. In a way, we rarely name directly, because if we are the storm, then when the storm is fierce, we must be fierce too when the storm is dark. We must be dark too. There is no space between us and what we feel. No sky, only clouds. But the old master offers something different. Not the promise that storms will stop coming. They will always come. Some small, a brief afternoon shower. Some vast, lasting for days, or weeks, or longer. But he offers a different question. Not, how do I stop the storm? But, have I forgotten that I am the sky? Let's pause here. For a moment, think gently of an emotion that has visited you recently. Perhaps it is still visiting you now. Instead of naming it as I am Oz, try quietly, in your mind, naming it as weather. A storm of sadness is passing through. A wave of anger has arrived. Notice how different that feels. Notice there is suddenly a small space between you and the feeling. a space where the sky was always waiting. There is a second story, sometimes told, beside this one, of a fisherman caught one evening in a sudden storm at sea. His small boat was tossed violently, waves crashing. Over the sides, he fought desperately to control the boat, pulling the rudder this way, then that, shouting at the wind as though it might listen. An old sailor on a nearby ship watched him struggling and called out, "You cannot fight the sea, young man. Point your bow into the wave and let it pass beneath you." The young fisherman did not understand at first, but exhausted, he finally obeyed. He stopped fighting the direction of the water and instead turned to meet it, not resisting, not surrendering either, simply allowing the wave to move beneath his small boat and rise on the other side. This is often what we misunderstand about difficult emotions. We think our only choices are to fight them or to be drowned by them, but there is a third way, to turn and face them directly, not adding resistance, not adding more fear on top of the fear already there, just allowing the wave to move beneath us, trusting that on the other side of every wave there is still a boat, still floating. The sky, in the first story, never once resisted. The storm, it did not tense against the clouds. It did not brace for the lightning. It simply allowed the storm to move through it, fully, completely. And when the storm had passed, the sky was not exhausted. It was not changed. It was simply still there, as it always had been. This does not mean we should feel nothing. The sky does not refuse the storm. It does not pretend the clouds aren't there. It simply does not mistake the clouds for itself. You are allowed to feel your anger fully. You are allowed to feel your grief fully. The invitation is not to feel less. It is only to remember that the one who notices the storm was never swept away by it. Let's try something simple right now. Notice whatever you are feeling without trying to change it, without trying to name it even. Just notice that there is something in you aware enough to notice it at all. That awareness, that quiet, steady witness, has never once been afraid, has never once been angry. It has only ever watched the way the sky watches its own weather without ever becoming it. The young monk in the story walked back inside that night. His fear had not disappeared. His grief still lingered somewhere, but something else had joined them. A quiet knowing that no matter how dark The clouds became, no matter how long, the thunder lasted. The sky was still there, waiting, unshaken, underneath it all. So, the next time a storm moves through, whatever kind it may be, try whispering gently to yourself, "This is weather, not my nature. It is passing through, not staying forever." And somewhere beneath the thunder, you may find a stillness that was never asked to leave. That was only waiting for you to remember it.